It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 137. Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, we're back for another one, y'all. Back for another one of these crazy ass true crime stories. Now, for this story, we going back to a channel that we all know and love, and that is Mike from that chapter. Going back to Mike, y'all, and the title of this one is The Sinister Case of Sasha Krause. Mike just put this video out, and as far as Sasha Krause, bro, like many other videos, when I read the title, I don't know if Sasha is the victim, is she the killer, like I don't fucking know, but we finna see. But before we see, my people, y'all know one more thing y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need, man. We got another one coming from that chapter, bro. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very, very good. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video, what we are going to do is examine a disappearance in New Mexico, and one fella's long-held, kind of bizarre, I wouldn't say little grudge, big grudge. Big grudge. His tiny face getting red with anger. That was at something which haunted him since he was a baby boy. In 2020, two people crashed into each other, one rejecting what they had been taught as youngin', and the other embraced it. This would take them 300 miles away to a remote part of Flagstaff, Arizona. And you can guess which side kind of won out at the end, leaving a mess for the others to find. But of course, that's not the real end. We got the body cams, we got the interviews, we got the whole, like, kit and caboodle, so let's give it a go. Go. Ugh.
Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go.
The city of Farmington, New Mexico, lies right at the tippity left from the alien's point of view of that state. It is surrounded by Navajo land and has some very stunning scenery. Look, rocks. Gasp. A little less than 50,000 people live there, and it looks like a beautiful little city. Though you didn't come here for the geography lesson, did you? One thing though that's super interesting is that in the year 1950, half the city saw UFOs flying around the air above the city. That's nuts. That's crazy. That's cuckoo pants. Feckin' aliens at it again. So keeping with like the unsolved bizarre mystery, if you want to call it that, and I sure do, let's look at another one. Though it was only unsolved for like a month. It begins with Sasha Krause. Sasha was born in April 1992 in Temple, Texas, to parents Robert and Laura. She grew up with many brothers and sisters, Amanda, Megan, Emma, Robert, Evelyn, and Sarah, and when she was at the tender age of 11, her family joined the Mennonite church. Now, I don't know jack shit about the Mennonites, though apparently they're not supposed to use the clackety-clackety computers, or at least many of them choose not to. So therefore, I can kind of just make up whatever shit I want and they won't correct me. Though, of course, I won't do that. Wink, wink. To quote a Facebook page, really, we are a body of born-again Christians who love God and seek to follow Jesus. Great, well that narrows your religion down. They wear a lot of, the old-fashioned get-up, modesty and all that, not really into modern stuff and entertainment, I understand. Genuinely good for them on that front. They make a lot of their own stuff, they are pacifists, and they also ride around on golden retrievers and use their milk for sustenance. Only one of those things I said is false. I'll leave it up to you to find out which. Okay, so I usually try and avoid the whole religious angle when I'm telling stories because it's a whole nest of vipers with robes on. So let's move on. Sasha, she was one of them. She had the little hat on.
Bruh, I never heard of no Mennonites. Have y'all heard of that? I never heard of Mennonites. I think it's probably like a different branch or whatever you want to say of Christianity, like a different subgroup of it. But I never heard of them. But they look like they trying to keep the image of back in the day before technology took over. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like how they wear it with the clothes that they wearing and shit, the overalls, the lady with the long dresses and the hats on, and then fucking they don't want to use computers and shit. Like, I don't know anything about them, but that's the vibe that I'm getting from them. But let's go.
She was a school teacher, she spoke English, French and Spanish, and she also wrote songs and hymns. And in 2018, she moved from the Mennonite community in Grandview, Texas, to the one in Farmington, New Mexico. She began working at Lamp and Light Publishers, who specialized in hardcore pornography. No, it was Bible stuff. Though the book does have some smut in it, so now let's talk January 18th, 2020. And that was 27-year-old Sasha's last day.
Damn.
That day was a fairly regular one for her. She had some shopping to do, a few bits here, a few bobs there, and then in the evening she had dinner with her fellow Mennonites at the compound. At roughly 7:30 p.m. she chowed down, and then she popped into her car and she drove to the church. She had to pick up some books as she had a Sunday service, the following morning. Now this was like a 1-minute drive. Like they were all in the same. Like you could practically see the church from where she had food. Like it's a little area. Okay, maybe there were some small hills in the way, but the reason she drove over there rather than just simply walking was because she had to pick up books. She hadn't even taken her purse, she hadn't even taken her jacket, but she didn't come back. No one knew what happened to her. No one saw, anything.
This is weird.
When they went to the church, her car was there, but there was no sign of Sasha, nor any sign of anything. It was like one of those UFOs from 70 years ago had. On the 18th of January, the cold winter morning, still in the wee hours I'm talking, Sasha was reported missing to the police.
This is weird, y'all. Somebody going to a fucking church, bro, and get abducted, go missing. The last place you said you was going to a church that's only a minute away, driving distance, only a minute away. You can see it from wherever she was at first, bro. She can see the church. She said she going there. Did she show her missing? At a church? That's weird as fuck.
911, what's the address of the emergency? It's on the Lamp and Lake compound, and what it is a missing person. Her name is Sasha Krause.
So when did we notice she didn't come back?
She left here to go down to the church to grab some Sunday school quarterlies. If we have church services up in Colorado.
So she's supposed to go up there tomorrow.
Right, she was supposed to go up there in the morning, but she didn't return.
Are there some books missing?
So books are missing. So she probably made it that far.
Yeah.
So I just like to ask this question: has she ever had any background of drug use, alcohol use?
Disappearing at all?
Right.
Not that I know of.
All the girls that live here, she's probably the most stable. She's very, very sensible.
When the detectives arrived, they immediately examined the scene, finding jack shit. No items thrown around or left behind, no scuff marks in the dirt from a struggle. The church, nothing there either. The only thing that was kinda odd was in Sasha's car. The keys were between the passenger seat and the door, kind of an odd place to find them. So she was gone, and there was no indication she had been planning, to go anywhere. She, as I said, she had left all her stuff behind, and she said she would be right back. So it's her running off when her car was still there was not an option. Foul play was quickly kind of, came into focus. The police, they then tried to track her cell phone, and it indicated that she had left Farmington and gone to the Four Corners area where Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico meet. And then after that, her phone was switched off, and they had no idea where she'd gone. She'd gone west, and then she had gone dark.
Another thing I want to say too, bro, we can go and get police more credit than we can in a lot of other videos, bro. At least the police this time, they took it serious, bro, and they actively, like, soon they trying to find her. They checking her cell phone and all that. They active on the case, because there's a lot of time, bro, a lot of videos we watch, man, these damn police will wait days, weeks, months before they even, or sometimes just never even really get serious about the situation. So that's good to see. Let's go.
Searches were mounted in the surrounding countryside. Police, dogs, whirlybirds, the whole 9 yards.
Woman in Farmington is missing, and the close-knit community is coming together asking for help finding her.
27-year-old Sasha Krause stopped by the church Saturday night to prepare for a class she was teaching. Her car was found nearby, but she hasn't been seen since.
There were some witnesses who reported a white SUV leaving the area around the time she vanished, but nothing concrete. And as the search parties continued, well, they would be to no avail. $50,000 was offered for information.
50G.
Then, after all that, over a month later, a call came in. This call was, almost 300 miles from Farmington, New Mexico. It was coming from the Flagstaff, Arizona area. A woman's body had been discovered near the Sunset Crater Volcano National Park, which is essentially an area where thousands of years ago the Earth just shot out a bunch of lava. It's pretty cool.
Oh, shit.
Possible 901 there down on the Forest Road 244. I'll be out at the Sunset 103. I'm out with that reporting party. She is stating a possible 901 near her campsite.
On the 21st of February 2020, a call came in from that park. Some hikers had found something.
If you're willing, if you're just willing to write a statement for me of what you saw,
of course,
and how this happened.
What I'll probably do, I think, is I'm going to go down to Sedona after this and see my new friend.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be alone.
They had found her. She was lying face down, her hands bound with tape.
Damn. Okay. And that's how he found her, or?
We didn't move her, nothing. She was real stiff, cold.
Single female, she's laying face down.
Due to how she was dressed, it didn't take long to cross-check with missing persons reports and identify whom they had found. But who had done this? Who had taken her all this distance and then murdered her? Whom knows? She had no defensive wounds. It didn't seem like she resisted, whatever happened. She was a Mennonite, though. They're pretty peaceful folk, but you would think that, instinct would just kind of kick in and you might start kicking and screaming. It didn't seem like that at all. It seemed like, what we guess happened is that she went to the church, someone kidnapped her, she didn't try and fight back. Again, what you think your natural reaction would be to just even get the elbows out. She had nothing on her hands, no defensive marks at all. It's almost like she went along willingly with whatever happened. Sasha, she had blunt force trauma to the head, her skull had been fractured, and she had been shot in the back of the head with a rifle.
Damn.
She had been dead for some time. The scene? Well, then there wasn't much to go on other than Sasha's body. There's no clues, no evidence, nothing, in the surrounding area at all.
Her case has sparked fear within the Mennonite and Farmington community.
Although we do not personally have a lack of forgiveness toward that person, we know that somewhere a killer is running under the scorching wrath of God. And we just want them to do the right thing and so that they can find his forgiveness.
In Farmington, Rachel Knapp, KRQE, News 13.
Sad, bro.
So what did the investigation do to get, the ball rolling? Well, they actually did something pretty smart. See, Sasha and her phone it was flagged at Farmington and then Four Corners, and then her phone went dark, and then her body was found near Flagstaff. So what the police then did was what's called a cell tower dump. So they got the cell phone towers at Farmington, at Four Corners, and at Sunset Volcano to shit out all of the cell phones that had pinged at each within a certain time frame. Whose phone pinged here, here, and here. They then cross-checked all the numbers that had pinged those three cell towers within that time frame, and it came up with one number. That was the
Bro, I never even thought about that police could do that, bro. I know police could ping our cell phones to different towers, but I ain't think about how they can narrow shit down like that. Like, okay, we gonna see what number at this specific time was at all 3 of these locations. You can narrow shit, man, bro. It's man, all y'all killers out there, whoever killers out there, just know, bro. In 2022, boy, it's hard as fuck to get away with some shit, man. Technology is crazy, and I love it, bro. I love it. Let's go.
The gooches. The gooch is, the part of the skin between your and your, and that was him. Mark Gooch was his name, and being an Air Force mechanic was his game. He was 21 years old, stationed at the Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix, Arizona, almost 3 hours to the south of Sunset Crater. He had no criminal history at all, speeding tickets being about the height of his interactions with law enforcement. He had been raised in Wisconsin in a dun-dun Mennonite family, something he would say was, very hard on him growing up. They were difficult, they were restrictive, and so, when he got old enough, that's when he ran away and to join the Air Force. As a kid, though, he was kind of up to no good. He was a bit of a troublemaker, vandalism, burglary, thievery, kind of rebelling against, I guess, his religion, which was quite strict at the time. So he left, but he kept his hatred pretty strong for it to a overreactive degree, I would say, maybe. Police went to the base and they questioned Mark.
Alright, so I always ask people this when I start an interview. What are you thinking right now? Do you have any idea as to why a detective with the sheriff's office would want to speak with you?
Only thing I can think of is maybe I'll grab you guys and I'm like, okay, it's what I'm thinking of.
In that last 6 months, have you traveled out of state anywhere?
Yes, man, when I get down here, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. So you drove from Wisconsin to
Correct.
anywhere else?
Pretty much no. Say Arizona.
I'll play you a bit now. The audio's not great. I did my best when I was editing this together. But just remember, the police will rarely ask a question they do not already know the answer to.
And I am working on homicide investigation. There was a girl named Sasha Krause. That was the deal. Did you hear about that news? So here's the deal. So your vehicle was picked up on that license plate reader in the general area on the same day actually that she went missing. So what I'm doing at this point is I gotta talk to everybody, as you can imagine. Anybody who's in the area, anybody who has seen something. I'm hoping really that maybe you have something that can help me. I don't know if you saw anything. You're Mennonite, or you're from Mennonite, and Sasha was too. Did you know her or anything about the case?
No, man.
So why were you in New Mexico that day?
I was planning on one, so I was checking out Mennonite churches when I traveled. Up to Flagstaff, I was hoping that ski resort was still open.
Yeah.
They were closed due to coronavirus starting up. So I figured I'd go check out Mennonite church up in the area.
So you're checking out Mennonite churches. Is there any reason why you didn't tell me when I asked you if you've traveled? You didn't mention that to me.
I'm sorry, my memory just...
So, about how long do you think you were in the area of the church?
I check to see what time of service, Saturday services.
So, back to why I'm here though, obviously something terrible happened that day, and you happened to be there. Did you see anybody or see anything that could help me in my case?
Nothing really stood out to me. Very.
Did you see any women walking around that day? No. Church is usually Sunday, right, or the meal. And you drove in on a Saturday, and you had heard about the Sasha Krause case. It's on the news. What did you think about that when you saw that?
It was shocking. I wish I had seen something.
Some of the questions I ask you today, I might know the answer to already. And so what I ask from you is just to be honest with me. Okay. Some of the timelines are not really adding up. As long as you're not lying to me, then we don't have issues. I'm just going to ask you straight. Were you involved with Sasha Krause's homicide? Did you know Sasha Krause? Did you know somebody? Did you know anything about her? Did you kill Sasha Krause?
That's a good question. These routine questions normally asked everybody.
Yeah, I'll explain why I'm asking you these direct questions. There definitely are some inconsistencies that I've seen, from your story to what I already know.
Bro, that fucking interrogator, that lady, bro, she good at her job, bro. Like, she did a good job of asking questions in a way that don't have him too suspicious, but still trying to get some up out of him. But I can say this about him too, bro. Hey, his demeanor was calm as fuck. He got caught in a little lie a little bit about where he actually had been traveling, but he played that. He got his poker face on. We can say that too. But let's go.
Mark was charged with the kidnapping and murder of Sasha Krause. On the 18th of
poker face ain't work.
January, the day Sasha was taken, CCTV showed Mark leaving Luke Air Force Base that morning. Then, 7 hours later, his phone pinged just outside a lamp and light where Sasha was. Seems he'd been watching for quite some time, like a little stalker or something. Then, at almost 9 p.m, his phone pinged again near Four Corners, as did Sasha's. Then at 1 a.m, it pinged Sunset Crater. He then arrived back at the Air Force Base the very next morning. He went to Sunset Crater then 2 days later to check on his handiwork, to make sure she hadn't been found yet, to take a trophy. Who knows what he had done, but he had gone back there, and you can only think of one reason he would go back there. A search of his car revealed binoculars, gloves, and a receipt detailing his car for the 23rd of February. Yeah, he had his car detailed on the 23rd of February. The funny thing about that date is it is the day after the police publicly announced they had found Sasha Krause. So he was probably thinking, well, shit, better just, cover my bases here. She had been in my car and I kidnapped her. Her shit's gonna be everywhere. Well, not anymore. He also had a few purchases on his credit card, so they could link him to Farmington fairly well. What they couldn't link him to, though, was Sasha herself. It never seems like Mark Gooch and Sasha Krause ever interacted, ever at all. The only thing linking them was that they shared, or had shared, the same religion, the same upbringing, whatever. But it seemed that from, going through Mark's phone and texts he shared with his two brothers, they all of them shared a really deep, strong hatred for Mennonites, for what they had been brought up in. Something that burned brightly even years later after they had long left. They would routinely text each other talking shit about them. Here's some texts. For example, Mark's brother Jacob Gooch would go on to become a Virginia state trooper. In one text exchange, he told how he pulled over a Mennonite to give them a traffic ticket. Jacob then said he coughed on the driver of this car, hoping he would give them COVID. Wow, look at you. You're a cunt. Mark had been watching Mennonites for some time, surveilling them, he would say in text messages. Then, when he saw Sasha going somewhere by herself, he followed, and he took her. And he took all his anger out on her. He drove her to Arizona, he beat her, and then he shot her in the back of the head. Then he deleted his Google history. I'm guessing he thought if he deleted his Google, location services would be erased, which I guess it would be. But it wouldn't erase his phone cell tower data, which is completely separate to Google. But he's a dumb shit, so. Then, after word spread that Mark had been arrested and charged with murder, the police got a phone call from one of Mark's friends saying, hey, listen, a while ago Mark gave me a rifle. Don't really want it. Maybe police, you should take it. Don't know what this rifle has been used for. Police would say, oh.
Got him. Got him, bro. They got the murder weapon. Got him.
Right, they would go out, they would check that weapon and find it matched the bullet found inside Sasha's body. So now they had the murder weapon.
Got him.
But then something else happened, which is Mark in jail he called, all jailhouse calls are recorded. So Mark, he called his brother and was like, hey, listen, bro, I left a weapon with a friend of mine. Would you mind going there, grabbing it, and maybe destroying it? Because Mark didn't know that the police had already located it, because that friend had called them.
Wow.
So Mark's brother went to this friend's house. He was like, here, listen, give me the goods. And the police then swiftly arrested him for attempting to destroy and tamper with evidence.
Good.
He swiftly agreed to testify against his brother in exchange for the charge going bye-bye. The trial began in September 2021, Mark pleading not guilty. The prosecution, well, they had kind of everything I just went through.
The defendant got into his car, a VW Jetta, and he drove north up the I-17 past Flagstaff and then turned towards the east, toward New Mexico. Eventually he arrived in the town of Farmington, New Mexico. Now this was a Saturday, it was the defendant's day off, and yet he chose that day to drive 7 hours to an obscure community on the eastern edge of Farmington, New Mexico, the place where Sasha lived, the Lampin-like community. Now, there's no indication the defendant knew anybody at that community. Nobody at that community knew the defendant, and yet he spent roughly 4 hours in that area. It's unclear exactly what he was doing that entire time. He never introduced himself to anyone in that community. Nobody even knew he was there. And what happened when Sasha got to the church is not entirely clear. But what will be clear is that the defendant was there, that he abducted Sasha, put her in his car, and then drove hours away to the area of the Sunset Crater National Monument.
The defense, though, they said it was all bullshit. The forensic evidence didn't match up. The bullet, it could be debated whether or not it was from the discovered murder weapon. The motive was thin at best, which I do agree with, by the way, but let's come back to that.
In the reasonable doubt instruction, there's language that talks about things that we know with absolute certainty. And what we can say to you with absolute certainty is that the death of Sasha Krause is tragic. That's absolutely certain.
True.
And that's never forgotten here.
True.
The only thing worse than not finding and bringing to justice Sasha Krause's killer would be to accuse and convict the wrong person. That'd be called a miscarriage of justice. The bottom line is that the state has really no motive whatsoever to try to suggest that a peaceful, nonviolent person who didn't know this individual would have had any reason whatsoever to abduct, let alone harm. And they tell you about evidence that they have that is twofold. One is a text message between Mark and his brother where he talks about looking at some people at a church. And the context is what the state is trying to suggest supports their position. But we'll carefully analyze that, and I think you can come to a different conclusion.
Bruh, I was with the defense lawyer when he was saying, I was with him at first, y'all, when he was saying, like, it's fucked up that this happened to her, like, there's nothing that can change nothing that can change the fact that she gone and all that right there. That was true. That's why I was like, true. But then he want to flip and talking about, but what's worse than that is blaming an innocent man. Well, hell, this innocent man got a lot of goddamn shit going up against him. It's a lot of evidence pointing towards that he's not innocent. Defense lawyers, bro, they got to get paid a lot of money to do that shit. Let's go.
At the end, Mark was found guilty of all charges.
Good.
Is there anything you want to say on your own behalf today before sentence is pronounced?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Firstly, I'd like to express my sincere condolences to the deceased family. And I'd also like to express my thankfulness for the love and support of my own family in this difficult situation. Thank you.
This case, I've thought long and hard about it, and I think this case is truly the most senseless case I have ever presided over. I have thought, since the defendant was found guilty by the jury, why he would have committed this crime, this horrific abduction and murder of an innocent person that he didn't, I mean, even if he knew the person, it wouldn't be justified, but the fact that he didn't even know her is also
fucked up.
So very senseless and really mind-boggling. It's just to wrap your head around what occurred in this case, it just makes no sense.
Nope.
Why one human being would do this to another human being.
Mark Gooch was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He also got 5 years for kidnapping. Well, that sounds as delightful as a hot sauce enema. But this case, to bring it back around, does not make sense to me at all. The Gooch, he was driving hours and hours and hours to communities all around the area, to these Mennonite communities. I mean, like Farmington, from where he was based at Luke Air Force Base, was a 7-hour drive. Like, fucking hell, he must be pretty determined, you know, to go there to surveil and hope you're gonna get lucky and find someone. But that's even less mattering to me than why. I feel like we're not getting the full story here from Mark, and his childhood growing up in that community. Like, maybe something worse must have happened to make him hold on to this for so many years, to the point where he would brutally kidnap and murder an innocent woman simply because she was a member of that community, and he was trying to, like, he was surveilling them. He was going to do it to somebody. Unfortunately, it was Sasha. Like, your childhood just being difficult and restrictive, that's... most of the world will be driven to kill then if that's, you know, what caused him to do it.
I know, right?
And you can't, is it just something you don't want to talk about? And it happened that made you, I guess, leave the church?
There must have been some serious trauma that's never been uncovered, you know, that's never been delved into about what happened to him that would drive him to this. I mean, let me know your thoughts, as always. But at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit, because of what he did to, you know, this lovely innocent woman, because he is a fucking gooch. Hey guys, Future Mike here, just popping.
Mike summed it up, y'all. Mike summed it up real good with that one, bro. He summed it up real good, bro. And that's the same thing I be saying, man. Like, it really, at the end of the day, don't matter what happened or why did you do it. It's just the fact you did it. So fuck you. Deserve life in prison, bro. And I'm glad he got that. But we can try to, like, delve into, like, why the fuck did he do it? Like, what was your motive, bro? What happened in your childhood when you was a part of the Mennonites? Or what made you hate the Mennonites? Or is it Mennonites, bro? This is my first time ever hearing of Mennonites, bro, in the Christian religion or whatever. You know what I'm saying, bro? I ain't never even heard of this type of... I done heard of fucking missionary and Baptist and Methodist and shit like that, but I ain't never heard of this one, bro. But what I'm saying is, bro, like, something probably did happen to the dude at a young age or something. Something made him hate that, man. It's crazy to hear, and it do happen, but it's crazy to hear murderers who are part of, like, the same religion, like, especially religions like this, like they know that each other believe in this and that, and they murder somebody for that. Like, what I'm trying to say is, it's more common to see goddamn a Christian murder or atheist. Well, I ain't gonna even say common, but it kind of make more sense. But it don't make sense, because it don't make no sense to kill nobody. But y'all know what I'm saying, bro? Like, they have the same beliefs, bro. Well, he did have the same beliefs as her, but I don't think he had the same beliefs at the same time. I don't fucking know, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't think he had the same beliefs at the time that he murdered her. For some reason, at that point, he hated Mennonites. I don't know why he hated them. We'll never fucking know, bro. But at the end of the day, bro, like Mike said, it don't fucking matter, man. Fuck him, bro. He killed an innocent woman, bro, for no fucking reason, bro. I digress. Y'all know how I get down, man. I start go down rabbit holes, rambling and shit, talking and just trying to figure shit out, bro. There was another good one from Mike, man. Another good one from Mike. He never fails to bring us a banger. Hey, and y'all never fail to come back and fuck with me. So please come on back tomorrow and hit that like button, subscribe if you just not getting here. All that good shit right there. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. But until then, my friends, one more thing to say. The Bean Baby! Ledge.